Hey, what's up? This is All Hell Breaks Loops, and this is a video overview of a Resolume Arena project that I put out for download so you can play around with Timecode and get a sense of how the project's set up. So if you go through all the download steps, you'll get to my Google Drive. Just go through the files here. This first one is the background video file encoded as DXP3. The second one is the Resolume Arena file that we've got in the background here. This next one is optional. It's only if you're using the show control software. You can actually open this set list in show control and see how I've addressed some of the naming sort of setups. This next one is just an overview of my services as a VJ in case you need any help with projects. This next one is, as the name would imply, it's the lyric video overlay. It's an alpha layer, also encoded as DXP3. And then this one's the confusing one. If you are very ambitious and you check out all the files in advance, you might be very confused. This one does sound like noise, and that is fully intentional. It is the timecode file. Key distinction is this has an offset of 22, and it's encoded for 30 FPS for the video assets. And lastly, in case you're a textual learner, I included all this information as a PDF in case that helps with the video or you prefer that over the video. But the information is mostly the same. So the next thing to note is the audio file I generated from this website. I found it through Sean Bose's tutorial. It will generate a timecode file for you, so that way you don't have to worry about a second laptop and audio interfaces. You can just have the audio. In this case, again, the key distinction of 22 for the offset. And then what you do is you get all the settings, and then you will download this locally and then play it back. In my case, I'm actually using Dante Via to route it into Resolume. You could do this with a 2-laptop setup and an audio interface, but I'll leave that step to you. Just to overview the settings here, make sure that you have the audio output set correctly. For whatever reason, that's kind of tied to that. Audio input is the same. And then right here, you can see for SMPTE, I've selected RX1. If for some reason you are using two SMPTE channels, then you can set it up there and you can see it here. And the good news is that when you set to no, it'll go away. So you can just have that nice and big right there. So next up is to actually play back the audio file. I'm just using a very simple Windows Media Player that plays it into Dante, and then Dante plays it into Resolume, and we'll see a track on the SMPTE input here. The clips are loaded right there, so once I hit play, then you'll start to move, and the animation starts. So everything is encoded. As I mentioned, the offset is at 22, and we can see right here. And the other key distinction is the offset here is at 22, but also we've added 1 minute, 39 seconds, and 0 frames. And the reason for that is that this way we could skip a bunch of the empty audio alpha, or not audio, empty alpha layer frames that would be at the beginning of that clip. You could do that. That's probably the easiest if you're handing off the project. But since I made this myself and I know that sort of separate the what I need to offset, I've manually put that in there. So we can see as this plays through, right, we can kind of track it in the green stats right there. And then also if this layer is selected or if the clip is selected, then this is my favorite view that I watch is, just make sure the transfer is moving forward. So as we're over here, I'm not going to make you sit through the entirety of the animation. But if we jump here closer to 139, we'll get it right around here. This way we can see, okay, at 1:30, what we're going to see is this playhead starts to wrap up. This is about to trigger at 1:39, and we see it, boom, lyric video starts there. So that's how you'd have it. So that way, if you need to make a shorter asset, you can play off of that. And if you can imagine, if you included 0 play, offset, then it would play on top of the background layer. So I'll leave it to you to kind of customize this project. Just as one final note, the reason why I included the offset of 22, it's pretty arbitrary for your uses, but for me, I actually set up a playlist or a DJ set, and the 22nd song was this clip. So that's why we use 22 in this case. If you're doing it from scratch, you could do 0 to use no offset features, or you could set each one to correspond to specific track in the set. So that way, if you're talking to the DJ, hey, first, track, third track, etc., that way you're speaking the same language, and it kind of keeps things organized. So hope that helps. I know timecode is complicated and there aren't a ton of resources, but hopefully with all the learnings that I'm making, I can present some of that knowledge to you, and yeah, we can all help each other learn. So keep at it, enjoy your VJing, and I'll see you next time.